Hi guys, and welcome to Thankful Thursdays again with myself, Kel, and also Rachel. So I have just gone and done exactly what I did last week, and I've already recorded this video once and I had the sound turned off. So hopefully this time I can get everything all going correctly. So the question that Rachel and I are looking at this week, or the topic that Rachel and I are looking at this week, is about finding your voice in recovery. Now, to me, this is something that's really fundamental to the recovery process, and something that was really important to me anyway. And I think also to many people I've spoken to and this is because I think in many ways when we develop our eating disorder, it is in part, at least almost our voice. It becomes our way of expressing our feelings because we're finding it difficult to use our literal voice, and we have this need to express feelings. And I don't necessarily mean express feelings to other people, I just mean kind of, get our emotions out of us. And it seems to end up resulting for some of us in eating disorders. I think in part that's perhaps because, when you have an issue that is internal with yourself, society kind of has shown us that it's quite acceptable to talk about weight and to talk about food. So I think that's a way for us to kind of make our issue something that can be talked about, almost something that's easier to talk about. But in recovery, of course, you're going to need to find a healthy way to talk about the real issues underneath your eating disorder, the real emotions that you're feeling. So you need to find a healthier way of expressing, a healthier way of finding your voice. Now, as many of you will know if you've been watching the Freedom Fighters channel for any length of time, is that for me the main way I find my voice, use my voice, is I write. And if you're not somebody that writes and you've not ever really tried that, then I really would encourage you to do that. And don't worry about spelling or grammar or anything like that. I myself have dyslexia, and it doesn't matter because this writing's for you. It's a healthier way for you to get these feelings out of yourself and onto paper. And as well as sort of physically getting them out, that's quite therapeutic in itself, but also it kind of allows you to make some sense of them, or at least that's my experience of it. And something else I also do is I draw, but I'm not as good at that, and I don't find that as useful unless I'm really struggling for words, and I imagine that some of you will struggle for words. And in that kind of situation, I think something like drawing or some sort of other physical thing like that can help you sort of produce something that represents how you feel, and that's really useful in starting to build up your voice. And for me, what I've always done from there, or at least the last couple of years, is I've taken my writing, which I suppose is my voice on paper, I've taken my writing to counselling, and I've shared that with my counsellor, and I suppose that's my way of developing my voice. It starts on paper, and then my counsellor reads that, and then I start to talk about it. So I start to build what I've written into actual literal spoken voice. And I think the more you speak about things, the easier it becomes, and the more comfortable you become with using your voice. I suppose from there, some issues can be that basically something you need to work through, within yourself. That sort of discomfort with your body is something that you really need to work through with yourself. But the other thing that comes to mind in terms of finding your voice is when you need to talk to other people about things, when you need to put boundaries in place or anything like that. I've always kind of found it difficult to say no when people are asking things of me, and that's something that I've become much better at lately. And in that type of situation, I think you can also use this sort of, you can write it, you can write what you need to talk to this person about, and that enables you to get the thought more clearly in your head. Then you can talk about that with your counsellor or with anybody else that you feel you can talk to you don't feel you're going to be judged by for talking to. And you can even practice with that person what it is you need to say. You know, if you are saying no to somebody and you're very uncomfortable with that, practice that before you find yourself in a situation where you actually really need to use it, because like I said, the more you do something, the more comfortable you'll become with it, and the easier it will be as well. And unfortunately, there isn't some magic solution I can say, okay, you'll find your voice by doing this, and all I can share with you is how I learnt to use my voice. Something else that comes to mind in terms of having a voice, which I don't know if many other people experience, but it's something I experienced, so I kind of wanted to put it out there, was I found during my recovery that I had sort of lost the ability to be me. I didn't know how to make choices for myself. It was almost like I lost my internal voice, and it was replaced by anorexia, it was replaced by self-hate. And I've had to learn slowly through the process of my recovery that I myself do have a voice, and that I myself can make those choices, and that it's okay for me to do those things. And so the way that I found my voice in terms of that, in terms of, I suppose it's about trusting my voice more than using it, was, I suppose, if you put things on a scale and you've got your big decisions up here and your more small decisions down here, I kind of started down here and started making small decisions for myself, and it gets easier and easier, and you become more and more comfortable with using your own voice. And I appreciate that this is very difficult, and it's going to take time, unfortunately, and it will be more difficult in some situations, and with some people you might find it quite easy. There's certain people that I find it quite easy to be open about my emotions, open about my needs, open about where barriers are. But there are other people where even now I find that quite difficult, and I still find myself falling back into this pattern that I've already explained of writing things out so it makes sense, talking it through with another person, which is usually my counsellor or also my partner, and then practicing it through either with that person or just in my own head, and then approaching the situation. And I appreciate there's not always, you know, the opportunity to do all those things, but usually I think you'll find, in terms of using your voice, that often you can do that. You can go away and come back, or you're approaching a situation so you've got time to think about it in advance. And so I'm going to leave it there, and I hope some of what I've said has been useful for somebody. So take care until next week, guys. Bye.